back, everybody, to Prediction Center here at the Three-Sided Box. You may be noticing our partner in crime, Johnny, is not around. He had something important to attend to. Also, this guy is sick like a dog, so you may see me backing away a little bit. And I lost my voice recently going to a hockey game, so it's been a bit of a rough week, which includes our records. What did you go?
8-6.
I went 6-7, which was, I think I just lost my lead. Johnny went 8-5 this week, which is actually pretty good, pretty solid week for him. He beat us all.
Surprising.
Yeah. So that being said, let's just jump straight into the Thursday nighter. This week it's the Seattle Seahawks at the San Francisco 49ers. Who do you have?
I'm going Seahawks all the way. I don't think it's going to be a third time that they would lose.
Yeah.
I think the second time is really going to piss them off. And even last year, at the 6-game mark, they went 3-3, and then they right the ship after, and they went to the Super Bowl. So I think that I got the Seahawks on this one.
I agree pretty much everything. The Seahawks are a team in a bit of a slump. Their defense didn't really show up in a big-time moment last week against the Panthers, which I think pissed them off, especially Bam Bam. I think he's pretty pissed off. Yeah. So that being said, three losses in a row to a team that's struggling like the Niners, I don't really see it happening. I'm gonna take the Seahawks to win this one. Johnny has also picked the Seahawks, so all three of us are on the Seahawks this week. See what happens. On to the next one.
Alright, so on to the first game on the Sunday schedule. We got, would you consider this the Irrelevant Bowl, Bills at Jacksonville?
Yeah, it's definitely becoming that. This is also, again, in the UK.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, 9:30 a.m. start kickoff time. That being said, the Jags are hosting, whatever that means in the UK, versus two small market teams going across the country to face off against each other. I don't know who makes these rules.
I don't know who's going to go to the game.
Yeah, I know the owner of the Jags. I think he owns Fulham. And I think he does. I think he owns Fulham FC, if that's their thing. Anyways, that being said, both teams are crap. The Bills, it's this time of year again where they just
don't win.
They suck. It's that 6-7 game mark, and then football's over for them. Time to pack it in. That being said, they are playing the Jaguars. Not even at the real home. I say Bills win.
Alright. I got actually the Jags.
Wow.
I see, this past week on NFL.com, I see Sammy Watkins is questioning the play calling and the scheme, and so is Mario Williams.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Kyle Williams went down last week, so I don't know. I think it's a recipe for disaster and a perfect storm for Jacksonville to get, I believe, their second win on the season. So
could be. They are the home team, so we never know. Johnny has picked the Buffalo Bills to win. I think he agrees this is the Irrelevant Bowl. Whatever number we're at. For last week we had 3. I'm sure we had a couple before. So I think so. Bills, Johnny's Bills. You got the Jags. We'll see what happens in across the pond. On to the next one. Alrighty, so our next matchup is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Washington to face the racist Redskins.
Another Irrelevant Bowl?
Another. This is Week 7 Irrelevant Bowl 2. So who do you have?
I really don't know. I'm just going to go on a whim and say the Redskins. I think that they're just going to... Kirk Cousins is going to have one of those games where he just throws for like 500 yards and 4 TDs. But then next week he's going to throw for like 100 yards and 4 interceptions, and all are going to be pick sixes. But this is going to be the one week where he's going to do well, so I'm going Redskins.
This is a bit of a tough one for me. I obviously hate the Redskins. But it is in Washington. That being said, though, they absolutely suck, but they win games. Like, they beat us. Tampa Bay is, they're a team that's shown flashes, like maybe a play or two that they could compete. But for the rest of the game, they've been pretty crap for the most part. I'm torn. I'm going to think about it. In the meantime, I'm going to give Johnny's pick. He's picked the Redskins to win. Don't know why. You know what? Screw it. I'm just going to go with my gut. I'm saying Bucks. Bucks take it. I think I think they're gonna get a win.
Maybe that run game, Doug Martin.
Who knows? Winston could show up in the nation's capital and surprise people. Not our nation, but the USA. Alright, so we'll see what happens, and on to the next one.
Alright, so in our next matchup, we have the Tennessee Titans facing off against the Atlanta Falcons in Nashville. Who do you got?
Titans came off a bit of a surprise loss. I think it was a tough game. I think it showed that they're so vulnerable. But the Titans, man, they got killed versus the lowly Dolphins. I don't know if it was just like the Dolphins just finally clicked. Like all that money they spent finally like came together for once. But I don't think the Falcons lose to them. I'm taking Falcons.
Yeah, all I'm gonna say is I don't know how they're gonna contain Julio Jones and the surprise man of the year, Devonta Freeman, who already has more rushing touchdowns than every NFL team. So, I mean, that's really surprising considering he's really not that great of a running back. And the Falcons don't necessarily have a really good run game. But, I'm going to go with the Falcons. I think that they're pissed off from their first loss, and they're going to right the ship.
Johnny has also picked the Falcons.
Falcons across the board.
Yeah, Falcons all over us. He hates the Titans, his division rival. I'm pretty sure he doesn't feel like they have much of a chance considering how much they put like crap against the Dolphins. So yeah, Falcons across the board. We'll have to see what happens. So the next one up is the surprising good sometimes versus teams that they shouldn't win. Saints facing off against Johnny's Colts. He's not here. Even if he was, he's not allowed to have a pick because of our rule. So who do you have winning this one?
Colts. I mean, if it wasn't for that really stupid, that might have been the worst play call ever in the history of sports. They might have won against the Pats. So I don't know. I think that they're gonna come out strong against the lowly Saints and win it.
I agree with the most part. I don't know if they would have won the game versus the Pats, but that play call was a joke. I mean.
Well, it really turned the tide.
I don't understand. I mean, they're like
play.
blaming the snapper and Colt Anderson for hiding the ball, but like, I don't get what that play was. I don't understand how they even had a chance. Like,
no one moved on the.
It's not flag football
yeah.
or steamboats. It doesn't make sense. That being said, the Saints coming off a bit of a high, but they're having a very disappointing season again. Colts did play relatively well for the most part until that play. I don't know. It's a bit of a tough one. I'm giving it to the Colts, but for me, this is their last chance.
Yeah.
They screw this one up. It's over. Saints, I'm expecting good things from them, but they're just not putting it out on the field. So this is the Colts' last chance, I think, for the both of us. So let's hope for Johnny's sake that they get the W.
All right. Next up, we got the Minnesota Vikings coming to Detroit to play the Lions, who surprisingly won last game. Who do you got?
Like the Vikings are surprising a lot of people, getting some W's in some games no one really expected them to get it. Peterson showing that he still got some juice left in the tank. See how long it lasts him. It is a divisional game, so especially with this division, it's really weird. Never really know. Lions complete disappointment this year. I mean, on almost every level, they barely beat the Bears.
And even with that, they pretty much won because of a really crappy...
terrible call. Golden Tate, the only guy in NFL history who has 2 touchdowns to his name, but didn't catch one of them. So, it's a tough one, but I'm gonna give it to the Vikings. I think that they're not great, but they're good enough to get a win against lowly Lions. You?
Yeah, I got the Vikings. I think that Lions are just on such a downward spiral. I don't know what's happening to the team. Like 1 year, I think this happened like 4 years ago. They go to the playoffs. They're like 13-3 or 12-4, win the division surprisingly, and then they just crumble apart. I don't know what's going on. It's like the Lions curse, but I got Vikings.
Johnny also picked the Vikings to win. Adrian Peterson again. He might be the X factor in this game. Megatron last game had a pretty solid game, but he is showing his age throughout the season. Stafford, I mean, this guy just throws picks like they're nothing. So Vikings across the board. Purple. See what happens. Next up, we got the Steelers from Pittsburgh flying in to Kansas City to face off against Andy Reid and company, the Kansas City Chiefs. What do you have?
Steelers. I think, like I said last week, we said that Charles is out. That's a huge loss for a very, inept offense. So I got Steelers coming out on top.
Yeah, Johnny agrees with you. Steelers. He likes their run game. Their defense is pretty solid. It's hard not to pick them when they're winning without Roethlisberger. Me personally, obviously I have a bias a bit towards the Chiefs. They got a bunch of my former players and coaches. It's kind of rough for me, but I keep giving them chances and chances again. I don't think they got a chance this week. I think, especially, I don't know if Vic's playing.
He might be injured. I'm not sure.
He injured his hamstring, but I don't know if he's out for the week. Regardless, I still think that run game is too much for them. I wouldn't be surprised if there was an upset because they're at their third string QB. But I'm going to go with my gut and just say Steelers take this one. So Steelers across the board. Let's see if we're singing that black and yellow by next week.
All right, so next up we got the Cleveland Browns coming into St. Louis to play the Rams.
Irrelevant Bowl 3 for this week.
This is just getting overwhelming.
I don't know who makes these schedules, but who do you have?
I got the Browns, actually.
Really?
Yeah, surprisingly. Wow. I think the Rams could only beat their division. I think that's the motto of St. Louis when it comes to football is only beat division teams. Like they take this division thing so seriously, but they'll never win it unless you beat teams outside of your division. But Browns showed a lot of promise last week. Gary Barnidge is turning into a pretty solid tight end. Josh McCown, even though he's making some terrible mistakes, usually playing a really solid game. So, I got the Browns coming out on top.
Johnny has picked St. Louis. He believes in Jeff Fisher's plan, whatever it is. Tavon Austin's a great player. Nick Foles has flashes of good plays. He's a tough guy. He stays in the games. Their defense, on paper,
should be really good.
Exactly. So he's going with them. Me personally, again, it's a bit of a toss-up. It doesn't really matter who wins because it's irrelevant bowl. But unfortunately, we have to pick here. Prediction Center. It's our jobs. It's tough. I don't know. I got Nick Foles. I believe in him, but at the same time, I'm gonna go with my gut, and I'm just gonna say Browns. I think Browns take it in a very, very close game. I think maybe by 3 points.
2019 game.
Something dumb like that. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. This is it's in St. Louis. Maybe the Rams have a home field advantage. I don't know, but I'm gonna go with Browns just because it's my gut's telling me to go with Cleveland. So that happens, ladies and gentlemen. Again, we've hit our fourth one in just 1 week. I think we tied a record from last week. Irrelevant Bowl number 4. We got the Houston Texans in Miami to face off against the Dolphins. Who do you have?
I'm gonna go with the Dolphins because last week I think how much money they gave to Sue really paid off because he's taking a lot of triple teams and a lot of people don't realize that. It's more the people on the outside the first 5 weeks or so that haven't done their job. And finally last week Cameron Wake just went beast mode and got 2 forced fumbles and were just playing really, really well. I really don't see the Texans being able to stop that. I think it's going to be a close one, but Dolphins come out on top around 24-20, around that score, in a close one.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about Texans. Texans, excuse me. 2 irrelevant teams in one giant irrelevant division. Sorry, Johnny, but it's fact. But I'm going to go Dolphins. I don't know why I changed my mind, to be honest with you. I think both teams are terrible. But I think the X factor is the fact that Texans don't have a quarterback. Who's starting this week? Is it Hoyer? I'm assuming because he won. I'm assuming it's him.
It's QB musical chairs.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So that being said, Johnny has also picked the Miami Dolphins to win. Look, we all agree that they have good players.
Yeah,
across the board.
Underachieving.
They're not.
And the play calls aren't that great.
They're not that great. Mind you, they got a new coach. They got the W. They surprised a lot of people. So let's hope that Dolphins get a win so I can improve our record.
All right, so next up we got the New York Jets coming into Foxborough to play the New England Patriots. Who do you got?
The Jets' defense has, I think, been a bit disappointing. On paper, it should be amazing. I mean, their secondary is still pretty solid, but I think that's more their front seven that hasn't really lived up to the hype.
Potential.
That being said, regardless of how good they're playing, they're facing the almighty Patriots this week in New England, in Boston, in Foxborough, at Gillette Stadium. I don't see how you cannot pick the Pats. I mean, it's Tom Brady. Rex Ryan isn't there to be in the press conference and say how we're going to finally beat Bill Belichick and the Patriots this week. But he's on the other team in this division now. So that being said, Pats win. Tom Brady, he said today he wants to play another 10 years. I hope he can because it'd be entertaining to watch. Same time, he'd steal all of the Super Bowls. Hopefully he doesn't cheat anymore. But you don't even need to cheat to beat them because
they're that good.
They're that good, so Pats.
Yeah, I would pick. I'd maybe contemplate picking the Jets if it was in New York. Sorry, but it's in Foxborough, so I'm going with the Pats. Just Gronk and Edelman, just so many weapons that they have. So many underrated guys like LaFell and Lewis that could just come out and play well, and they have Belichick, the all-time great coach. So I'm going with the Pats.
Yeah, Johnny's also picked the Patriots. Again, how can you not? Honestly,
they might go 16-0.
They might do it again. Hopefully, they don't meet the Giants in Super Bowl this year.
It's possible since your division is shit.
I don't know, but we'll see. So Pats across the board. Hopefully, we'll be right come next week. Next up, this might be another relevant bowl. Some people's eyes it is. Some people's eyes it isn't. My eyes it kind of is. A AFC West divisional matchup. We have the Oakland Raiders facing off against the San Diego Chargers. He can't give a pick. It's our rule. Not allowed. Pretty sure we know he's going to pick though. Regardless, I'll start off with Johnny's pick. He's picked the Oakland Raiders to win.
Wow, I'm surprised.
Yeah, it's a bit surprising for me too. San Diego has been extremely disappointing this year. I mean, beyond our expectations bad. I don't know what it is. I still can't put pen to paper and decide what the problem is with that team. I think it comes down to coaching, to be honest with you.
Yeah, the coaching is a bit off, but look, they've been in three really, I think it was three. No, sorry, 2 the past week. Really close games. One against Pittsburgh where they lost literally in the final seconds, and then one against the Packers where it was 4th and goal. They went for it for the win, and they just bad play calls.
Yeah.
In the most crucial times, but Rivers played really well, over 500 yards against the Packers. That's really impressive. So, I don't know.
You're not allowed.
I'm not allowed, but I'm just saying San Diego is not playing as bad as some people feel.
No, but they're not playing as good as as they should also.
No.
So that being said, I'm gonna pick the Chargers. They're at home. It's a divisional game. Don't get me wrong. The Raiders could provide an upset for everybody. I don't know if you'd call it even an upset because the Chargers have been playing bad. Raiders have been playing okay this year. So you never know, but I think Chargers take it. They think they get the plays right this time. Phillip Rivers comes back. I don't think he wants to lose a divisional game especially. I think that might be their only chance of making the playoffs is if they could start beating some divisional teams. So we'll see what happens.
Alright, so next up we got, in my opinion, and I think in his opinion too, is the, was this the 5th Irrelevant Bowl? Honestly, I'm just going to pick the Irrelevant Bowl because the Giants are just playing, ridiculously well when they shouldn't and terrible when they shouldn't. And the Cowboys are just injury-plagued team with a really overrated defense. But, who do you got?
Look, I get from the whole spectrum of the NFL, it's kind of a bit of an irrelevant bowl.
Yeah, a little
but for me personally,
it's not
because it's a divisional game, and that's what matters. Right now, it's the divisional wins that are probably going to determine the outcome of this division at the end.
Sure.
Big win for my team last week against the Giants. I don't know. I really don't know. The Giants have a capable team. But we shut them down for the most part. We shot ourselves in the foot more than they were beating us. That's why
it could have been worse. It could have.
Look, Sam Bradford sucks. See, this guy threw 3 interceptions as if he wanted them to win. That being said, Cowboys are completely decimated by injuries. but Dez might come back and play this week.
That's
If
true.
he does, they might get the win, but I'm going to give it to the G-Men this week. I think Giants take it in a very close game.
Yeah, I got the Giants. Romo's not supposed to come back for like
No, he's-
week 15 or
Something like that.
whatever. Okay, so really far back. So I'm going to pick the Giants. I just don't think they have the the quarterback to do it. Even if Des comes back, who's going to give him the ball? Brandon Whedon. I really don't believe in him.
Matt Castle, he's starting.
Oh, yeah.
It's his
Anyways.
dream. Johnny did pick the Giants. He loves Eli. He loves that Manning family. I'm sure he was disappointed last week a bit. Even though he did pick the Eagles to win, he kind of does love the Giants deep down inside. So yeah, now it is Giants across the board. So what happens? I hope the stadium burns and none of them win. So see what happens.
All right, next up we got the Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia Eagles coming into Carolina to play the surprising undefeated Carolina Panthers.
On Sunday night.
You can't speak.
I can speak. I can't pick.
Oh, sorry, you can't pick. But do you have anything to say before we?
Look, we were back in black last week. I predicted that W. That being said,
It's a primetime game.
it's a
Oh, it
Sunday
is.
nighter. I said. The Eagles also last week played the Panthers, I believe, on Sunday night. I believe the week after, or it was the Monday night of the week after the Giants game when we were back in black, and we completely destroyed the Panthers. This week, I don't know. Honestly, it depends on Sam Bradford. So, look, I believe we got the team. We got the defense to prove it, but look, I can't make a pick anyway, so go ahead.
I'm probably going to pick... I don't know. I'm really torn, but I got to go with the more consistent team in the Carolina Panthers, who have been consistently, even though they've been in a couple close games, especially against like the Saints, you know, like that should be a very winnable game, easy game, but they struggled. But I think the Panthers come out on top, riding on that really good defense, and shut down the Eagles. Johnny's also got the Panthers, so that makes 2 Panthers and 1 Eagle, and we'll see what happens next week.
So the Monday nighter, last game of this week, the disappointing Baltimore Ravens are in Arizona to face off against the Cards. Who do you got?
Well, I'm officially done with the Ravens. They've officially made me look like really, really like not smart, and looks like I don't know what I'm saying picking them in the Super Bowl.
All of us. We all picked.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm done with you guys, and with that being said, I'm picking the Cards. Better team, better defense, and they're not going to disappoint me.
Yeah, Johnny's high on the Cards. we know he loves the St. Louis Cards. Sure, it could slightly transfer over to Arizona, but so yeah, he's got the Cards. That being said, for me, look, the Ravens have been a disappointment. I'm not picking them. I am picking the Cardinals, but the Cardinals did lose to the Steelers last week with their third string quarterback, and even though Vic played really well, their defense kind of slipped up, I guess, against the Steelers.
They have a couple slip-ups every couple of weeks, but you know what, it's...
That's why I don't think they're a championship team yet, because I think championship teams show their consistencies at this time of year. Maybe not at the beginning, maybe not a bit at the end, but definitely in the middle they show that they're good.
From now to like week 13, 14.
Yeah, so I'm picking Cards. Ravens, you guys are done. I think we're going to have to repick our Super Bowl picks because we're going to have to do it again because honestly we screwed up so bad that it's a joke.
We didn't screw up. It was the Ravens, man.
Yeah, but
they have potential.
We should have saw it. Anyways, so Cards across the board. So that's been it for Prediction Center this week, guys. Week 7. We'll be back next week for week 8. Hopefully with Johnny around. Hopefully he won't be contaminating the world. Exactly. And my voice will be back to normal, hopefully, because I sound like I'm going through puberty, which I'm not. So that's been it. We'll see you guys next time.